Jai Hind to all. This is Akanksha Shukla from IT department, and I am going to present one of the most important topic, that is K nearest neighbor algorithm of AI. So basically, what is K nearest neighbor algorithm for machine learning? So it is one of the simplest, or we can say that one of the basic algorithm in machine learning, which is a supervised learning technique. So it assumes the similarity between the new cases data and whatever the data which are available, and after that this particular algorithm put the new cases into the category which is most similar to the available category. Suppose we are having the categories or classes, then based on the similarity level, it basically put the new data points into the category which is most similar to the categories or to the data points which are available in our database or knowledge base. So this basically algorithm stores all the available data and classifies the new data based on the similarity basis. So whatever the concept behind this KNN algorithm, that whenever the new data appears, then it can be easily classified into the well suited category by using this particular supervised learning technique, that is K nearest neighbor algorithm. It can be used for both classification as well as regression. Basically, or most of the time we use this algorithm for classification problems, or we can also say that this particular algorithm is a non-parametric algorithm because it doesn't make any assumptions or underlying data. It works only on the basis of similarity. So whatever the data points are available in our database, based on the similarity basis, the new data point can be set to that particular categories. So based on this characteristics of this algorithm, it is also known as lazy learner algorithm because it does not learn anything from the training set immediately, on immediate basis. It doesn't learn anything from the training set. Instead, it stores the data sets, and at the time of classification, it performs an action on that particular data sets or database. Whenever a new data point came into the consideration, then at that point of time, it performs an action on that particular data set. Only this particular lazy learner algorithm, concept of lazy learner algorithm is this. Now KNN algorithm, basically at the training phase, it just stores the data set, and whenever it gets new data, it classifies that data into the category which is more similar to that particular new data. Suppose I am going to take an example that we have an image of creatures just like similar to the cats and dogs, but we want to know either it is a cat or it is a dog. So for this particular identification, we are going to consider the KNN algorithm because it is working upon the similarity measurements. So KNN model will find the similar features of the new data sets to the images which we are having. So it particularly find the similar features of that particular new data point or new image which came into considerations to the cats and dog images which are available at that time, and based on the most similar features, we will put it either in the cat or dog category. From which category it possesses the most of the similarity, then we possess that particular new data set into either that category. Just like this is the image diagram. Suppose here we are having a input value, that is we have an image, and we can see that the image looks like a cat. So when it went to the KNN classifier, then we are having both the images, cat and dog. So our KNN classifier classifies that particular image based on the similarity features. So it is similar or it looks like cat. So the predicted output will be the cat. Now, why do we need a KNN algorithm? So basically, if we are having two categories, that is category A and category B, and we are now having a new data point, suppose let's x1. So this data point will lie in which of these categories? To identify this problem, to solve this problem, we need a KNN algorithm. So by using KNN algorithm, we can easily identify the category or a class for that particular new data set. So if you are going to consider this particular graph diagram, so we can easily see that this is a particular data point belongs to category A, and this is a data points belonging to category B. Now, if new data point arrives or came into consideration, that is a blue color data point, blue color dot came into consideration. So when we apply the KNN algorithm, then we can easily identify that whether this particular new data point will belongs to category A or to category B. So, based on the similarity level, based on the similarity feature, we can have this particular new data point assigned to category A. So, this particular data point is now assigning to the category A. Now, how does KNN works? The KNN working can be explained simple on the basis of this algorithm. So, for example, in the particular step 1, what we do, we select the number k. This is a very important point, that in the KNN algorithm, the selection of k is very important. Okay, so select the number k of the neighbors. Then we have to calculate the Euclidean distance of the k number of neighbors. Then after that, we take the k nearest neighbors as per the calculated Euclidean distance. Whatever the Euclidean distance we have calculated, then we can take the k nearest neighbors as per the calculation done. Now, among these k neighbors, now we have to count the number of the data points in each category. Among these k neighbors, whatever the calculation was done in the previous step, after that, we identify the k neighbors, then count the number of data points in each category. And then we are going to assign the new data points to that category which has the number of the neighbor as maximum. Okay. So, now after applying these 5 steps, our model, our KNN model is now ready. Okay. Suppose we have a new data point and we need to put it into the required category in the following given diagram. We have a category A, just I had shown you in the previous graph diagram, and this is the category B. Now, this particular data point arrives. So, in which category it will belong? In category A or in category B. So, based on the Euclidean distance we calculated, we identified that whether this particular new data point will go into the category A or in category B. So, firstly we will choose the number of neighbors. So, we will choose the k as a 5. Most of the time we used to take the value of k as a 5. Now, after that, we have to calculate the Euclidean distance between the data points. Basically, everyone knows about the Euclidean distance, how it can be calculated, because this is a very basic measurement. So, Euclidean distance is the distance between the 2 data points, which we are already studied in geometry, as I told. So, this is the formula of Euclidean distance, x2 minus x1 whole square plus y2 minus y1 whole square is square root of both of these terms, addition of these 2 terms and then square root. So, this is the basic diagram which shows how to calculate the Euclidean distance between A1 and B2. So, it is, I hope so that it is almost clear to you all. Now, by calculating the Euclidean distance, we got the nearest neighbors as these 3 and these 2. These are the nearest neighbors. So, in category A, we are having 3 nearest neighbors, and in category B, we are having 2 nearest neighbors. So, these nearest neighbors are identified by calculating the Euclidean distance. Now, as we can see, the 3 nearest neighbors from category A and 2 are from category B. So, as per algorithm which I had told, that assign the new data point to that category for which the number of neighbors are maximum. So, in this particular diagram, we are having 3 data points from category A and 2 neighbors from category B. So, the new data point will assign to category A because it is having maximum number of neighbors. Okay, this is clear. So, hence the new data point must belong to category A. Now, what is the procedure to select the value of k in the KNN algorithm? So, below are the some points which we used to remember or which we used to take into the consideration while we are going to select the value of k in the KNN algorithm. So, as I told that there is no particular way or there is no particular algorithm or a manner how to determine the best value for k. So, we need to try some values, some random values we are going to take. So, we need to try some values to find the best out of them. So, as I told that the most of the time we are going to prefer the value of k as 5. So, same is given here. A very low value for k, a very low value. If you are going to take a very low value for k, such as just like the value of k will be 1 or 2, then it can be a noisy and it can lead to the effects of outliers in your model. Okay, and the larger values of for k is considered as a good value. So, that's why most of the time we are going to prefer the value for k is 5. Okay, but if we are going to take a very large values for k, then it may also find some difficulties also. So we have to take the most preferred values for the k when we are going to select the value for k. Now, what are the advantages of KNN algorithms? So basically, on the very basic level, if we can see that this particular algorithm is very simple to implement and it is very robust to the noisy training data. For noisy data, it is very robust. It can perform well for noisy training data sets also, and it can also be more effective if the training data set is large, because this at current time, if we see that the data is very large, we can say that voluminous, we are going to deal, or we are dealing the voluminous amount of data day to day. So for training the data set, for training the larger data set, it is a most important, or it is a most challenging concept or aspect for today's world. So this particular algorithm is very much effective if you are going to dealing with the larger data sets. Now, there are some disadvantages of KNN algorithm also. So the disadvantage is main that we always need to determine the value of k, which may be complex sometime, because identifying the best or perfect value for k, it may sometimes be difficult to identify these values. So we have, but if you are going to deal with KNN algorithm, then first of all, the first step is you have to identify the value of k. So it may take, or it may increase the complexity for identifying the value of k, and also the computation cost of this particular algorithm is high because of calculating the distance, Euclidean distance between all the data points for all the training samples. So it may also increase the computation cost. So basically, if we can see that these two are the main disadvantages of this particular algorithm, that determining the value of k, and when we are going to determine the Euclidean distance of all the data points for all the training samples, then it may increase the computation cost also. Thank you. That's all.